This JTV News update is brought to you by Nagico Insurance, the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Eureka Medical Center, Colonial Insurance, and Flow.
It's March 8th, the day internationally we celebrate women, and voila, I'm proud to be a woman. Here in the British Virgin Islands, obviously women tends to dominate, if I may say so. Everywhere you go, there is a woman, or in many spaces, women are the majority. And so we try to find out how we celebrate ourselves. It may seem to many that women are now the breadwinners of homes and the maintainers of societies and the backbone for the men. Carrier Christopher is here with me this morning, and Mr. Damian Grange. I know I just set a really, really strong platform there with what I said. But Carrier, Damian, thank you so much for, at the last minute, deciding to join me to have this little bit discourse on International Women's Day and how we celebrate us as women and how you as men support us to be who we are. Carrier, first, in your view, how do we celebrate women?
Well, I don't know how else to celebrate being a woman except being a woman, by being ourselves. I don't apologize for the greatness that women should be. I suppose in my mind, maybe 30, 40 years ago, women were very much subdued and submissive to, and not just men, to just society. I believe, and proudly believe in so, that women are now very much outside of their box and they know that they can be the best of whatever they want to be. If you want to be a stay-at-home mother, you will be the best stay-at-home mother that there is. And so I think in celebrating a woman or yourself, you be the best that you want to be or you know how to be, and not be afraid to break barriers.
Okay. In many instances, we come across so many women who are broken in spirit, broken in esteem, broken because of their circumstances. It may be domestic or otherwise. And they struggle to find that strength within to rise above. What would be your advice to such a woman?
Honestly, you should never be afraid to be raw with your emotions. We all have to go through something. So there's no harm, at least in my mind, to say that you're having a bad day today, or a bad day this week, or a bad month. You have to be able to say, well, you know what, Carrier, this is probably not your time right now. But as long as you know that things will get better, you don't just sit there and expect things to get better. If it even takes just reading a scripture, reading a motivational article for yourself, and you get there bit by bit. For me, my journey evolves around my children, and I have 2 girls. And so every single thing I do has to be able to give them a positive impression of what I try to be. I want to be the best mommy and the best role model. So you find something or someone to be able to say, I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for him or her, my niece, my nephew, my child. And that lifts up your spirit, because you have to have something there to live for and to dream big and to make sure that life kind of moves on. And your legacy, I think, needs to be cemented no matter who you are.
Okay. And then there's the other side, forming sisterhoods, forming sisterhoods in communities, in your church, and whatever organization, also plays a great role in making you a strong person. How would you advise a woman who seem not to be able to find that appropriate circle or that appropriate environment to surround herself with to help her to be the real woman? How would you advise her?
And I would always say that you have to limit your circles. You know, there are people out there who say that I have 2,000 friends on Facebook, but if you are in it, 2 people would actually be your friends. So don't be afraid to say that my circle is small, and then love yourself first. You can't love somebody else without loving yourself. So if you are not comfortable in circles, that's okay. Work on yourself, and then that would attract persons to you just naturally. That's how I live.
Yeah, and you just said the core of it all. Until we learn to love ourselves, sometimes I would say to persons, be selfish. Not selfishly selfish, but be selfish. Look out for yourself first. This brings me to you, Damien. And you would say, by Christ, Kathy, why me? How you bring me in this thing? Well, I see you, Damien, as a person who has a great lot of respect for women. I see you work in organizations. I see you around people who you push to be themselves as women. What gives you that drive, and why this deep respect for woman and womanhood?
To put it simply, I would say that I saw my mother go through an abusive relationship. And 10 years after such, she was still afraid to be in any circle where that person would be. And that impacted me greatly, because I was thinking, can you imagine, even after you're out of it, long gone, it still affects you to the point where you're altering your happiness, your life, simply because you're afraid. And I figured that it must be some kind of self-esteem issue, or lack of confidence, self-worth, and belief in oneself. And I figured if I can do something to change that. And it's actually started with my mother, because I confronted the abuser with her present. And that was to give her some degree of confidence to say, listen, not all men are going to sit aside and watch something like this happen. And I figure I would pass that on to other young women. And so I believe in anything that uplift youth in general, but women in particular. And I think that made me a proponent for women empowerment. And I am not at all intimidated by strong women. My grandmother, I grew up with my grandmother. She was a strong woman and is a strong woman, and it made me a better person. So I believe if we allow women to be who they are and to be that strong support and that contributor to society, then we can only be better as a world, actually.
Okay. Damian, what would you say to that woman who is down in a tunnel? There are lights at both ends of that tunnel, but she seems not to be able to remove herself from the middle of that tunnel, which is a dark place. How would you, in few words, encourage that woman to go to either side where there's light?
I would start where Carrier touched, and that's you must believe in you and love you. And it starts there, because until you start to accept you for you and understand that the power that lies within you, then it's going to be difficult for anybody at all to motivate you. And so I would encourage that woman in that space to find that light within, because let me tell you, once the inner light has been ignited, there is no hose or water that can blow that fire out.
Okay. Well, this was a very quick and a very informative and healthy short discourse. Any parting words on International Women's Day?
Oh, I'm just so happy that we actually recognize that we deserve an entire day. I mean, if we have an entire 365 days, to give us one day, we're very happy. But I just wanted to say, I would like to encourage us, we women, from being our worst enemies. Let us stop with the jealousy and bitterness and the hatred towards each other. And let us unite, because by one, we can do so much. By many, we can literally rule the world. I said it. We can rule the world if we just put aside the jealousy and the hatred and the bitterness and the bullying, and let's just do and be great, because we have a lot of little people looking up to us, and we want to show them our best side. So it's really great to recognize this day, and thank you so much for asking me to say a few words.
Okay. Damien, here?
You're phenomenal. You're amazing. Believe in that. The organization that I work for, the Beaver Health Services Authority, the chairman of the board is a woman. The CEO is a woman. The director is a woman. The chief of nursing is a woman. The chief of medical staff is a woman. And I must say that they have brought that organization through leaps and bounds. And now we're on the verge of doing great things right here at home. So women, believe in you. have confidence in you, and we're here to support you. And men, I think is a great opportunity is to give a message to the men. Don't be intimidated, because if they are great, we are great.
Damien, we do acknowledge that we cannot truly be our full selves without the man.
You better
you know.
believe it.
What a healthy discourse here on International Women's Day on JTV, Channel 55. Continuing our discourse with various persons on this International Women's Day, observed as well here in the British Virgin Islands like it is internationally. I just could not have seen myself going without having the input of a woman that I admire dearly, a woman who I know fears God, and I know a woman of strength. And she's just going to quickly tell us her secret to being a strong woman.
Thank you, Kathy. And on this International Women's Day, well, it's rather a privilege for you to acknowledge me. I appreciate that. The strength of being a woman. And that comes way back from, I think, my mother, my grandmother, women who were strong women in my life. And they were, actually my mother was an unmarried woman, and she had strength, and that strength I admired. And my grandma, she was a very strong woman who labored and brought me up well. So I think that from that I got some empowerment.
Okay, you hang on very strongly on the arms of God as one of your major pillars. How do you advise women out there and people in general to find strength in spirituality?
There is great strength in spirituality. No matter how empowered you are by family and friends, you need God. God is your strength. He's your keeper. And when all else fail, when you lie in the bed, when you're alone at your kitchen sink, wherever you are, He is always there with you. And you'll find that strength, that undergirding, and you'll have to experience it. I'm saying that to you, but you experiencing it for yourself, you would really find out it makes a difference in your life.
So you see why I could not have gone without speaking with this dear lady, Sister Pemberton. Thank you so much for such words of advice and encouragement, and congratulations on being woman.
Thank you, and I hope I have inspired or encouraged someone.
Thank you so much.
Happy Women's Day, everyone.
International Women's Day 2018 comes at a time just after us here in the British Virgin Islands and many across other current countries and territories would have suffered major devastation by the hurricanes of September 2017. Now, many were battered and bruised in different ways. They lost businesses, they were physically hurt, they lost homes. One woman that I admire very dearly because of her youth and her strength is here now to give us a little pep word on International Women's Day.
Hi, my name is Tikisha Drew Farrell. Women all around the globe is beaming with smiles, stepping out with courage, standing firm in feminine. I can do this. Strength and sparkling hope to the next generation of empowered women, believing boldly and making power moves. We face life with humility, being the light that shines out of dark times. As we celebrate today, be sure to encourage another woman to win. Work hard, inspire others, and never give up. Happy International Women's Day, and stay chic.
Well, this has brought us to the end of this very quick edition of our special International Women's Day feature here on JTV News. But before we go, I must say to all my fellow women out there, be strong, be you, and be selfish for you. With this JTV News, a special update, I'm Kathy Richards. Thank you for joining us.
When it comes to your health, being uninsured is never an option. Listen to some sound advice. Nagico's Nagicare is one of the best medical insurance plans your money can buy. We offer you solutions to medical coverage benefits tailor-made to your budget and preferences, so that the next time you visit a doctor, you can rest assured that we've got you covered. Visit our website, nagico.com, or contact a Nagico office or agent near you. Nagico Insurances. We've got you covered.
Here in the Virgin Islands, we are blessed to live and work in paradise. Paradise just doesn't mean our tranquil blue waters and green hills. National Bank of the Virgin Islands defines paradise as any place or condition that fulfills your aspirations.
To me, paradise means knowing that I will have a financing partner when I'm ready to open my first business.
I feel confident that I can manage whatever life throws my way because I know my bank will be with me every step of the way.
That's why I choose National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official bank of paradise.
My future's looking so bright, 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 with the official bank of paradise, paradise.
National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official bank of paradise.
If you're looking for extra savings and free benefits
with car insurance
and home insurance,
Colonial has just the cover you need.
There's a free $250 gift voucher for new home insurance customers too, and 10% car insurance discount if you have home insurance.
With a claim service that's quick and friendly.
We call it Cover Without Added Costs.
Call for a quote on 494-8450 or Virgin Gorda 495-6403 or visit cgigroup.com.
Colonial, where people come first.